Good morning. Good morning, traders. How's it going? Welcome to the Obi-Wan Assassin, Order Block Assassin Supply and Demand Trading Channel. And we are here today to talk trades. Talk technical analysis, supply and demand, charts, and how to make money using our trading system. So look, if you have any questions, please let me know. Drop questions in your chat. If you have any coins you want me to look at, we're happy to do that as well. Today we have some trades to review. So someone from our Discord server has given me their trading journal to take a look through some of the trades they made in the last few weeks. To ask me to give them some advice on some of those trades, which I think is pretty cool. And well, let's talk about this big move that we've had. Had a really big bullish move, and well, luckily, I predicted this. I love it when things that I predict come true. It doesn't always happen, but it feels good when it does. And I will show you some of the trades that I'm in right now. Well, I'm actually only in one trade at the moment. And I'll tell you why I'm in that trade, what I'm looking for if I wanted to get out of that trade. And I'll show you some of the trades that I'm waiting on, okay? It's a big day today. Lots of stuff to do. So let me share my screen. Well, let me find what I want to show you guys too. Just 1 second. Just talking to Romeo from our Romeo Digi Aquino. Just gonna tell him to jump on my stream. Jump on my stream, brother. Jump on my stream, Romeo. Let me grab my my Twitch URL for you. Get you on here so we can chat. He's just sending me some charts he wants me to look at. Got tapped into my ETH short. Just missed out on a soul trade. Doesn't matter, more to come. Am I in any trades? Yeah, I'm probably tapped into. I probably tried to do the same soul trade that you're in right now, and I also got tapped into an ETH trade. That's the trade that I'm looking at right now. And Romeo, your trades look exactly like mine. Interesting. Interesting. Almost like we're thinking the same. That's awesome. So what are we looking at today? We want to look at the market cap. The market recap. Let's take a look at what's been happening. Let me share my screen. All right. So, where were we when we talked last? In our very last stream, when I told you guys exactly what was going to happen, a lot of people listened. Obviously, a lot of people had their own ideas too, and they were correct. Last time we chatted, we were right here. Price is coming up into this zone here, and price, in my view, had just broken. See this break here? We'd just broken free of the previous structure, and I said, I'm feeling bullish on Bitcoin. I felt like Bitcoin was going to push up, and I said, with this push up, it's going to bring some of those altcoins up. So we should be looking for opportunities where coins are at the bottoms of their structures. I did say that I didn't want to put in a trade on Bitcoin, but a lot of people in my server did. A lot of people in the Discord did. They went long on Bitcoin, and they had a lot of great longs there. A lot of people made a lot of money. Congratulations if you're one of them. I didn't take this particular long because for me, it was a little bit risky in the sense that Bitcoin was trading around the 50% mark. Does that mean you can't take a long? Doesn't mean you can't take a long. Doesn't mean it won't work out. Just for me, at the 50% line, it's a little bit risky. So I'm tending not to do that these days. But I was long on Bitcoin. I was bullish on Bitcoin, I should say. I wasn't in a trade. I was bullish on Bitcoin, which meant I was bullish on altcoins. And some of those altcoins I was bullish on have really skyrocketed. Ape, look at this. Look at that amazing long opportunity for Ape. I wasn't paying attention to Ape at the time, but you could have taken a long from here, and it did really well. So congratulations if you did. I saw a couple of guys in the group got like 200% profits from their Ape coins. Congratulations, that's fantastic. Unify. I was in a Unify trade. It went all the way to the top. That's fantastic there on Unify. I'm not in the Unify trade anymore. I got out of that one. I think Litecoin did well. I think from memory, yeah. Look at that. Litecoin did very well from here to the top of its structure. You may have seen that I had this idea here to go short on Litecoin. I don't think I'm tapped into that yet. I don't think I put that trade on. The only trade that I'm currently in is a short on ETH. Now you might be wondering, why did I go short on ETH if I'm long? If I'm bullish on Bitcoin, why did I go short on ETH? And I'm going to try and explain it. And if I can't explain it well, if I don't agree with my own self, then I'm obviously going to take my trade off. All right, here's the thing. We see on Bitcoin that Bitcoin is probably in a bullish structure here. It broke free, and I said we're going to have a bull run here, a small bull run on Bitcoin, and we did. Bitcoin was bullish, and their structure continued. We're probably going to see from here, probably going to see a retracement. Where will Bitcoin retrace to? Most likely to the 60% mark. So where I've drawn this square, I don't know my shapes. This rectangle here, where I've drawn this rectangle here, we're likely to retest. So I will probably try and pull a long on Bitcoin when it does come down. If it does come down. And when, in my view, when it does come down. So I think we'll see that retracement. And the 60% mark is a very good place, usually, historically, to pick up a trade. It might struggle, honestly, looking at the chart here. Bitcoin might struggle to get past this structure that is built here. This has left an imbalance for sure. An imbalance that's likely to get filled. And the price will come down. It may struggle to get past here. I'm not going to take a long from there. For one reason, it's above this 50% mark, which means the price is not at a discount. Okay, and two, no, that's really it. The price is not at a discount, so I'm not going to take that trade. But if the price does come down to the order block below, what did this leave? This left behind a supply zone. Demand zone. This left behind a demand zone. This is an area that I am interested in because it's below the 50% mark. It is in a discount and most likely in a bullish move up. So depending on the price action as it comes down in here, depending on how I feel about that price action, whether or not I think this price will continue to go down, most likely I'm going to try and pick up a long here. I'm going to try to see how things go. Now, why am I taking a short on ETH? So ETH is at the top of its range right now. This doesn't mean that it can't break through here and get new highs. Doesn't mean that at all. But ETH is definitely at the top of its range. Now, the last few times that I've noticed ETH at the top of its range, I noticed a couple of things in the last few times. One of the things I noticed was that when ETH was playing around the top here, we had Bitcoin not even at the top of its range. And I was concerned. I was concerned that ETH was sitting here at the top. Bitcoin at the time was around the middle structure, didn't even reach the top. But what I noticed with Bitcoin is as it reached its top, ETH stayed at the top. So while I wouldn't recommend shorting a coin while Bitcoin is having a bull run up, I did notice previous few times in this structure, ETH stuck around its top even as Bitcoin was going from the middle of its range to the top of its range. So for me, I wanted to make sure that I'm in a short at this point in time. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. I could absolutely be wrong. We could see Bitcoin go bull and we could see, hopefully ETH make new highs. That'd be great. Not great for my trade, but great for ETH overall. It could definitely have anything can happen. It's all random. But this to me has a high confluence of an area where we could probably see a retracement. Now, I've made this trade as my take profit 2 right down here, giving me a 4.6 return. But I've made sure that I have a reasonable expectation here. My 3 is right here. I think at very least, we could see a 60% retracement. Where does that leave us? Right where my take profit is. So if we get a 60% retracement, I will get a 3 times margin. Beautiful. Perfect. I'll take that. If the price comes down to here to around about here, and which I think it will, I think we're going to see a bit of a rounded structure here, I will set my trade to break even. I'll probably take half profits too. So at least I'll remain profitable, and if the price comes back to my entry point, well, then trade will be off. Maybe I'll try and take the trade at a higher idea over here, at a higher order block, which is over here to the left with the breaker block right here. In fact, that would have been a better trade to even pick up this one. Almost made it through. That's my plan. My plan is to scalp this price on ETH down to the 60% and lower if it gets there. That'd be great too. But realistically, I need to be mindful that as Bitcoin comes up, my short idea might not be valid. All right, it is an idea. I am in it. It might not be valid if the price structure or the price action changes. All right, but in the meantime, I'm happy to take this down to this level here, the 60% retracement level. I think that's fair. I can probably still get this scalp in, even if Bitcoin does end up within the next few days being more bullish. So that's my thinking there. Am I still valid in my thinking? I think so. I think so. It still sounds reasonable to me. You guys might disagree, but that's what we're here for. We're here to make money on the ideas that we have. All right. What am I going to look at? Sol. I nearly got triggered into this Sol. Oh, that would have been lovely. All right. I was going for an 80-90% retracement. If I wasn't so greedy, this may have triggered in if I went for there. But as you can see, I wasn't able to get my 3 times risk to reward ratio if I put my price down. I wanted to make sure that my stop loss was at least at the top of the structure here. At least there, because if we had had new highs, I don't want to be in a short. So my stop loss was reasonable. It was a nice big stop loss because I needed to give the trade room to breathe. But as of yet, hasn't been triggered in. That is fine. I only want to be triggered in if I actually get my 3 times risk to reward. And it didn't trigger me in. That's cool, because my trade wouldn't have been valid. But that idea is still there. I still have that. We could still see this rally up and try and test these highs again, and it could trigger me in. So I'm keeping my short there. We could also see that this trade get triggered in, and depending on the price action that I see, I may take the trade off, depending on if I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I'm thinking there's 2 places Bitcoin could and will probably go. All right. I have an idea here to do a short at this rectangle here. This is a 60% retracement from the high, from the top of the structure. This point here is a 60% retracement. How did I do that? I took my fib from the bottom of my chart to the top, not the way around. Took my fib from the top of my chart to the bottom of this structure. That's right, 60% retracement right here. So in my view, we are likely to see the price eventually test this 60% retracement and possibly struggle to get through. I would consider, depending on the price action that I see, I might consider a short here. Although I need to really think hard about that because it's not a premium price. It is a trade you might consider making if you can get the 3 times risk to reward on the price structure below, and the price structure isn't written yet. So I'd be basing this idea off an idea that I can't see yet. There's no structure for me to make sure that I can get my 3 times risk to reward. So I'm not willing to put this trade in just yet. You could say there is possibly a new structure forming here, and if you can make it to there and go 3 times, yeah, maybe that's a valid trade. Maybe. Really depends. Bearing in mind the idea for ETH was that ETH had been at the top of its chart before. When Bitcoin was coming up to the middle here, Bitcoin rallied to the top of its structure, but ETH didn't rally any higher. So that's the theory that I'm going with today. All right. Now you've seen my trade here. There is a really big stop loss on that trade. And on this one over here, the stop loss should also be able to be equally as large. It needs room to breathe. Smart money love to make you think they're going one way and take your stops and then go the way that you thought. So your stop losses need to be big enough, guys. I've seen a lot of people, not a lot of people, I've seen some people, some newish kind of members in the group putting through their first few trades, which is great to see, but the stop losses are very tight. And, for a long time, I fell in a trap where my trades would get stopped out and then go the way that I wanted. And we want to try and avoid that. So nice big stops with room to breathe, at least 20% higher than the actual order block that you're targeting. Because the most awful thing is when it sucks when it takes your stops and then goes the way you wanted it to go. It still happens to me sometimes, not as much as before, because I am very generous with my stops. All right, now anything down the bottom of the charts that we could take up? I don't see that right now. I think we've done some bullish moves for a lot of these coins. And you can see here, I do have some ideas, but those ideas that I have are going to require a retracement. So this is my Chili's idea. Chili's has done well if you picked up any of these trades along the way down here. I do see a retracement coming. And we have broken this structure here with a bullish break. Not a big bullish break, but it is broken nonetheless. So I do feel like Chili's will actually break from this. Does that mean go long? Not until you get a decent enough discount. Okay, so below this line is my discount line. And I've taken my fib, and I'll show you guys the fib too, so you can see how we do it. Take my fib tool from the bottom of the structure to the top that we've formed. I want a 60% retracement. And I'm looking at the structure, the price structure between there, and we can see there is a lot of price action within this 60% zone. It's almost difficult to pick where exactly you'd want to take your trade, but at least 60% for me, at least. We have this little price action here. I don't like working with little price action. Oops, go away. It's just, anytime I seem to work with little price action, it always seems to gravitate towards the larger price actions. So I'm mindful that this is a very small price action window here, which is why I've kept this whole box quite large here. What am I seeing here? I'm seeing a rally up, leaving a lot of imbalance here. Even though we've had a bit of price action here, I had a huge imbalance there, but it was filled with this price action here. But down in this section here, we do have a fairly big, what is this, a supply zone? No, this is a demand zone right here. Fairly big demand zone sitting right here at the 60% retracement level. Yeah, I think that's a decent trade. I will wait and see the price action. We could see this break further up, but I'm hoping to see a 60% retracement, pick up my trade and go long when the time is right. But that trade isn't in yet. I'm just watching. I don't have any longs in the system yet. I have shorts right now. I have shorts because I'm looking at these coins at the top of their charts, and I'm just going to see if we get any of that short action coming in. Having said that, I'm in one short now. I don't really want to be in any other shorts because my idea is there's going to be a retracement. I don't want to overextend my risk. Okay. I have a few short ideas, but I only have one trade in the system right now. It's one trade. I have 3 other active ideas. Probably going to delete them now. They didn't happen, but my ETH short did happen. I'm happy to make this my one trade that I'm in. Okay, no point doubling up on my risk over one idea, because my idea could very easily be wrong. Now, if you're not sure about your idea, you don't have to put your full risk in. If you're using a spreadsheet like we all are, everyone's using different spreadsheets. Some of them are brilliant. If you're using a spreadsheet and you have your risk here, so my risk is 10% of my overall account size for this account that I'm using. My risk is 3%, so my risk size is $29.64 US. So having that risk size doesn't mean I have to use that for every trade. If, for example, I think that we might have an area here I can go short, but I'm not quite sure because Bitcoin is, it's still not at the top of its range exactly. We're not premium prices for Bitcoin yet. And I'm not quite sure about this. Well, I could do a trade here for $10 risk. 1% trade. You know, there's no harm in doing a 1% trade, guys. You don't have to trade at 3% every single time. If you've just got an idea that you think could work, but you're not quite sure, you're not so confident, you can go 1%. It's fine, you can do that. So that's an option there. Looking at the DXY, dude, that's scary. It's scary how well that's been predicted. But, oh, that's exciting. We've broken free of this structure. Sorry, I just got a message on Discord. Let me read this out. Would it be possible to go through how I would approach ADA for a profitable trade without all of your analysis? Sure thing, Ryan. If you're watching the stream, I will go through that right away, right next, after we talk DXY. So DXY has broken free of this structure down here. We're going to see lower prices than DXY, which is exciting. Oh, it's making me probably second guess my ETH short right now, to be honest. You know what I'm probably going to do? I'm probably going to set my ETH trade to break even. We haven't quite had the drop that I'm looking for, but you know what? Also, we've broken this structure here. That doesn't mean we're going to immediately go further down. Most likely, we're going to actually retest up these prices up here. Now, as the DXY prices come up, the Bitcoin prices go lower. Took me a second to think that through there for a second. So as these prices come up, our Bitcoin prices come lower. Now, we haven't retested this big supply zone up here. We haven't, and we may retest that again. That's definitely within the realm of possibility. So potentially my ETH trade is still valid. I still expect a retracement of the price to come up at least to this level here, at least retest there, and then probably fall through to the next level. So I am expecting lower prices and then a bounce. Make sense, guys? That's what I'm expecting. Will my ETH trade happen? Lower prices and then a bounce. Hopefully. I could potentially take this short twice. I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I could see ETH coming up, taking my short, and then ETH come up again and putting another short in. Maybe, we'll see. But bearing in mind, the more times we hit this order block over here, the more times we tap into there, the less liquidity we have there, the more likely we are that we might just shoot through and make a new high. And my God, I would love that. God damn, I am waiting for new highs. I've never seen a bullish run. In all my time trading in the last, 12 months, I haven't seen a bullish run. It's pathetically depressing. I want to see new runs. All right, Ape coin. I've seen a few people take this all the way up. Would I take a short here? Well, I think the time for a short has gone. It didn't tap me in. I wouldn't be taking the short at any other point. Like I said here, I think we could tap into here again and maybe see new highs on Ape. But with Ape at this current stage, haven't broken free of the structure. There's no bullish break yet. You see that? There's no break there. So not getting bullish signals on Ape to go further just yet. Not just yet anyway. ADA. Let's take a look at ADA. So would it be possible to go through how I would approach ADA for a profitable trade on ADA? And Ryan's given me his image. Hopefully you don't mind me sharing this image, Ryan. I'll just share this with everybody on the screen so we can see what you've done. And I mean, honestly, we're not here to shame anybody. There's no shame in charts. My charts were terrible when I started. My charts were worse than any charts I've seen in the Discord. It took me a long time to get this shit sorted and figure out what I was doing. All right. So I can see where you were going with this. What have we done here? You've got your fib, but I'm not sure. That's a 70%. That's a 80%. So you were going short on ADA as it came in at the 70. Yeah, look, that's. The problem is, okay, I can see what the problem is. Let's look at the chart over on my charts. ADA. I talked about ADA a few days ago too, and the reason why I wasn't taking a trade on it, and maybe this will be valid for you too. Where's ADA? All right. The reason why I didn't take a trade on ADA is simply because the price action here and the structure really was a bit confusing for me. Okay, we have a lot of price action over here, and then we have new structure being formed down here. But this was all from November, and to me, if we take a ruler, let me get rid of this line so we can do this from scratch. If we take a ruler from the top of the price action to the bottom of the price action, this is exactly why I didn't take a trade. We take a line and we put it down the middle. This line is the line between the line between premium prices and discounted prices. Premium prices are above this 50% mark. Discounted prices are below. You may notice on ADA, I don't have any trade ideas at all. None at all. I didn't like the bottom of this chart because as ADA went through the bottom, we broke this structure here, and I was fearing that a new low structure was coming. And there was nothing in ADA prehistory over here to the left to tell me where it would go to. Luckily for ADA, it was only a small break, only a new low, and it formed a new bullish structure. So luckily we didn't have a horrible, big, awful negative structure forming. That's great for ADA. That's the good news. But I wasn't willing to do I wasn't willing to do a long here. Even though this was a confirmed bottom, right here we bounced once and then twice to a confirmed bottom, I wasn't willing to put a risky trade on to presume that this was the bottom of the chart where I could take a long. And then as the prices come up, it didn't interest me at all. Everything below that yellow line, that's discounted price. The only thing I should be doing at discounted price is a long. As the price came up into here, yeah, that's more like long territory. That's not so bad. Price looked bullish. Anything above here would have been great to do a long on. But where the price is now, that is absolutely no territory to be taken shorts, in my opinion. In my opinion. I would not be touching this. We're at the 50% mark. What we find at the 50% mark of structures is we're going to see wishy-washy trading. A lot of it. And wishy-washy trading is how you get your stops taken. We want to be doing trades where we have the best possible chance to at least break even. So I'd be looking at structures like this. First thing we want to do is figure out where is our retracement. Top of the previous structure to the bottom. All right, we are probably going to be seeing some price action in these areas here. So I'm just going to roughly put a, what do you call this? A rectangle around some of these areas, and I'll zoom in shortly and take a good look. All right, so that's a 70, and then of course, yeah, you've got, well, yeah. So depending on the way that you're going, you take it from the top or the bottom. Okay, we want if we're trying to catch a short, we want to look at where the retracement will go to. So it's going to retrace to 60, 70, 80%. What your problem though there, Cookie, what your problem was you didn't look at it from a higher enough time frame. You were only looking from here, where everything looks really bullish. But you got to scroll back. You got to scroll out. You got to look at a higher time frame. What is the actual story going on here? We're not bullish at all. We're only at the 50% mark. Like, we should have taken longs from down here. That is bullish. That's a bullish move up. When I say we're not bullish, that really wasn't a good explanation. Sorry about that. We were bullish down here for a bullish mark from the lower lower prices, from the discounted prices all the way up. That is a great solid trade. If you got that trade, congratulations. It's lovely. I missed that because I was busy not looking at ADA because I didn't like the price action. But that was a very good trade. From here though, at this mark here, this isn't premium prices. Don't fall into that trap. We're not at premium prices yet. Yes, in the December price structure. Certainly this is the top of the structure from December. But this price structure over here to the left, this isn't as clear cut as other coins. I'll give you an example. Bitcoin. This lovely structure we have here in Bitcoin was a definite, clear and different structure than we had over here in September. And that was a very different and clear structure that we had over here in in August, and August was a continuation of a larger structure that we had since June. And from there, an extremely clear and decisive structure over here from there. You see how they're different structures? We are looking for different structures. Over here in what we were looking at, ADA, right? Over here in ADA, the structure continued. This is a larger structure. And it's been from here since May, had this structure come down, and really it wasn't a brand new structure that formed in here. So really this is the high here. This is the structure that we're looking at. This structure continued down. And only now we're seeing the full picture. So the problem wasn't just that you did the fib from the wrong direction. It was also that you didn't include the previous structure of where we're probably going to be heading to. This is the highs. This is the top of the structure here. These are the bottom. So we could see the price retrace up to 60, 70, and even 100% of this range. If we get to here, this is the top part that I've been looking at. This is my top trade. Very likely, if you get that trade in, it's very likely that will be the top. Very likely. So you have 3 different options here of places that you might like to take a short from. So how do we know which one of these to take a short from? Well, that's the question that we all need to answer. Cool, you got it, awesome. But this is a bit I can't answer. I can't tell you which one of these boxes to put your trade in. Right? 60% retracements are lovely. That's what I go for, minimum 60%. But here's the thing, if this structure is bullish, I'm not necessarily going to be betting on where it's going to retrace. I am going to be watching these 3 zones here for retracements. The top one, for me, it's a no-brainer. I'll probably put a trade on. Probably overnight to capture the high coming in there and get me in. That's what I did for ETH. You know, I had this ETH trade planned for a while, and I wanted to be able to capture this as it came into near the top. I wanted my stop to be above the top here. I wanted this trade to get me in, and it did. It's in there now. So I would have that with ADA. I'd have my trade waiting for me up here as the price came in, because usually when we see price action on these tops, usually it's really quick. It comes in like a mosquito bite. It's like zips and takes that liquidity and then drops. These other 2 areas here, I would be watching these areas as possible places for retracements. So there is if the price comes up to the 60%, zooms out of there, I'd probably put then a short at the 60%. Knowing full well, however, that this continuation of this pattern from the bottom here, it could continue. We could be seeing this. I'll show you what we could be seeing. Prices come up, coming down. Price might do this. Price might come down. Price might do this. We see this a lot in some of these coins. And bang, and then bang. Something like that. We could see something like that. Most likely that's probably what we're going to see, honestly. But we could also see if Bitcoin comes to the top of its range, or at least if Bitcoin hits some point in the range and then fails with a clear and decisive failure, well then, wherever we are, if we're here, at that point, they'll be taking a short for sure. If we're at the 60% mark, oops. If we happen to be at the 60% mark, right here, and Bitcoin fails with a nice big failure, yeah, I'll be taking a short here. Bearing in mind that short could be short-lived, okay? That doesn't make a lot of linguistical sense, but if you do take a short from here, you want to make sure your stop loss is set so that if you're wrong, you're very wrong. If the price comes through and shoots through here, it's going higher, so you're wrong. Okay, that's cool. You want to be wrong. If the price breaks through your stop loss, you want to be very, very, very wrong. And being wrong is fine. Failing on your trades is fine. It's going to happen. This is all a numbers game. Just like pickup artists try to pick up women by asking hundreds of women out. You know, we want to have hundreds of trades. Bad example, but it's a numbers game. And for some of those pickup artists, it is a numbers game. They fail 99 times before they find a woman who's dumb enough to date them. So, and that's the way it is. We will fail trades until we make it. Okay, so when we fail, we want to spectacularly fail and be very, very, very wrong. For this one, I'm only going to take this trade if I can get a 3 risk to reward on a decent price structure down here. Now we've had a big demand zone. No, this is a supply zone. Right at this zone here is a supply zone. Price has come down. That means I want to be able to get a 3 on this structure here. I'm only getting a 2 so far. I could bring my stop loss slightly in, but I don't want to bring my stop loss in any further than that. Give room a little bit to breathe over this price structure here. The only way then I could get my risk to reward ratio to a 3 is by giving myself a better entry point. And I'll be as greedy as I have to be to get that 3. Wow, that rhymes. As greedy as I have to be to get that 3. So that's why I'm not pissed off. When the price comes up and doesn't enter my trade in, I'm not pissed off because I've specifically crafted these trades to give me a 3, at least a 3 risk to reward ratio on the price structure they're likely to hit. And that's a strategy that I would recommend. That's what I do. I don't know if that's something Nick teaches. It's just what I do, or at least it's how I articulate in my mind the things I've learned from the supply and demand course from the Onyx trading platform. Guys, if you're watching this and you're not part of Onyx, hit me up via email. I'll let you know how to enter. I'll let you know how. Well, actually, I can tell you a lot of information. I can tell you how it's helped a lot of us to learn how to trade, helped a lot of us become profitable. And we have hundreds of members in here. Hundreds of members. So many people doing really well. Some of us are just learning. And it's super fun. This is an awesome technique to learn. It's an awesome skill to learn. So, this is option 1 for ADA. Option 2 obviously is up here. It'll look like a very similar short. Trying to target 50% of the order block. Getting my stop 20% higher. And then this is going to be interesting too. This is going to be interesting. Targeting similar price structure down here for a 3. Now, because this has a bit of a longer range, I can more easily get a 3 out of this one. Now, the top of the structure one, this is where things get interesting, for me at least. Because there's a good chance price could come up to here and then come up to here. And now, I like to think to myself, when price structure is close, when we have a lot of this is a supply zone that's dropped out. When we have a supply zone really close to another supply zone, I think, what is smart money likely to do? And for me personally, I usually skip the one in the middle and go for the higher one, and it usually works out. If you can do a short here, and it's just above a short below, there's 2 options that you could consider. Option number 1 is you completely get rid of this trade here and risk not being in a trade. It's the least risky risk, honestly. Not being in a trade is the least risky risk. Second option is you can have your stop a bit tighter in this one, because you know if this one stops out and you lose your stop, you'll know that it's likely the price is going to come up and retest up here, get you in the even better, more less riskier and higher trade. Personally, this would be the trade I'm looking for. Price can just break free a little bit of this price and still give me a higher high or a same high, and the price is still likely to come back down and retest these lower prices before. Even if this is a new high, price is still going to come down and give me what I want before it comes up again to give you the higher high. Do you know what I mean there? Does that make sense? The price can still come up here. It could just break free of here, and it's still going to retrace down before it goes up for an even higher high. So we do want to give ourselves a bit of a barrier over here for these stops. If price does go through my stop here and really break through, well, I really don't want to be short here anyway. That's my reasoning. Personally, there's 3 options here to get in. First option, I'm only going to go into this trade if the price actually shows me in this price action that we're going to have a negative push down. Second trade here, price may come into this 70% retracement zone. I need to ask myself, am I going to take this trade or am I going to take the trade above? Or both? That's a question I can't answer for you. I can only tell you my strategy. I find myself normally putting the trade on and watching the price action happening in here. Sometimes I feel like if it's too wishy-washy, If there's too much of a upward force, like a buying force in this zone, I may end my trade at a loss. So take a break even at a loss where I don't lose the entire stop. So I won't lose my full 30 bucks. I'll lose like $5. Sometimes I'll do that, but I only want to do that if I'm pretty certain the price isn't going to fall. And usually it doesn't. Now, if I get into this trade here and the price drops a fair way down, I will set it to break even. And the break even means if the price comes up to my entry point, or even a few percent lower than my entry point, I'll sell the trade at a very, very, very slight, what's the word here? Profit. You know, I might make $1 or $2 on the profit. And that means that it'll pay for the fees, the trading fees, which is great. I'll do that. And even if the price does come back up, it sells my trading fees and I don't make any money and the price comes down, I'm not going to be too upset because, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to win all my trades, but at least I didn't lose money. And having said that, price could do that. I could be in this trade and I could get halfway through, take my profits, and price might jump through and take this order higher. So that's how I tackle ADA. Well, that's how I tackle any coins. Those are the trades that I would consider for ADA. I hope that helps. If you guys have any other questions about any coins you want me to look at, let me know. You can let me know personally. You can message me privately on Discord. You can let me know in the chat here. You can drop in a coin you want me to look at. That's cool. We'll do that. We're all here to learn. And, you know, I learn by making mistakes too, guys. Alright, so we've looked at a few coins. Looked at Unify, looked at Chili, looked at Litecoin. So that is a paper trade that I have made for Litecoin. It would have triggered in. If I wasn't in an ETH short, I might consider this, but I probably wouldn't, to be honest. This isn't a trade I necessarily want to be in. Why? Because I do think that Litecoin has to hit its higher structure up here. We've got even highs right here. Man, this music sucks. Ugh, next. That was terrible. Alright, that's a bit better. Alright, so we have even highs formed. So when price structure comes up and forms an even high, it means one thing. It means that retail traders have put their stops here, here, and here. We have to start thinking about stops. I know it's difficult. We see these candles, and these candles tell one story. They tell us the story of people where people put their stops. That's what these candles tell us. What are stops? Well, if you don't know, or you haven't thought about it, when we're making our trades, stops are our stop losses, right? My stop loss is here. When the price gets to this point, sell my trade and I'll lose money. What does it mean? It means that's somebody's entry point. Where I have a stop loss, someone will buy it. All right, what coin are we looking at? Litecoin. Okay, so we have our stops up here. Retail traders have come in. They put their stop losses here. So if the price comes up above here, they want out of their trade. That gives anybody with a whole bunch of coins who wants to invest in Litecoin, a whale comes along. They're like, hey, I want to take the price. I want an entry point in. They would consider taking these stops here. Why? Because there's a lot of them. To push the price down, to have the price come up here and then go down, it takes a lot of stops. So there's a lot of liquidity up for grabs here. To us, it's a losing trade. But to people with a lot of money, or people with big bags, people who want in, they don't think about it like that. They think about it as in, here are all the orders. I can take these orders and I can liquidate my assets from one thing into another. So even though it's bad when we lose our trades, guys, when our stops get taken, we consider that to be bad. But someone taking those stops, they consider that to be a sell or a buy. That's all it is for them. So with all of these stops sitting here, what we do find is that eventually someone with the big bags comes in and takes them all, driving the price higher. So while I have this paper trade here for Litecoin, I am waiting for it to take these stops. In fact, I'll get rid of this now because I don't want to take it. I'm waiting for these stops to get taken and for this price to test this higher point, this higher structure here. We are in premium prices for Litecoin right now. It is gearing up for a very nice place to take a short, and I am deeply considering putting this short on here, because if Bitcoin does go higher, it should pick this up and I should be ready to take it down. This is the other point that I'm looking at here. I don't know why there. Probably because that was the last candle before the big supply the big supply drop, meaning there's a lot of supply around here. There's a lot of imbalance. To me, the structure started here. When the price came down, the structure started from there, but also there's potentially supply up there. So these are the two entry points that I'm looking at. I think this lower one will be the one. I think it is. However, in my experience, I have seen when supply zones are very close together, smart money sometimes just takes it all the way to the top one. Something to consider. Something to consider very carefully. So yeah, that's my Litecoin idea. I'm going to wait for that. What does this have to do with for my ETH? Well, ETH is already at the top. I don't necessarily see enough oomph in the Bitcoin movement yet to push ETH to the top. I'm just going to watch it. Just going to watch it. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely be wrong. But you know what? I'm only losing 3%. If I'm wrong here, I've only lost 3% of my bag. 3% is not too risky. You can sleep on that, you know? What else we got? AVAX. Where are we on AVAX? AVAX is currently nearing, still in discounted price for AVAX actually. And I like this new structure. I didn't like the structure that you can see here on AVAX. We're looking at this price structure here, and I've drawn this zone down here. I didn't go long on AVAX because I didn't like the price structure that was here. I felt like we'd broken through it, and we did. We broke through that order block, creating a new low, and this structure is now looking much more structural to me. So we can get rid of these lines now. They need to be redrawn. They've been invalidated. I'll get rid of my ideas and we'll start again on AVAX with this new price structure. It's actually looking really nice now. I'm interested in this coin again. So looking at the new price action, we can see here we have a new discount line. I like to do not just the middle line, but from the middle line to the top of the structure. All right. This gives me premium, and we'll do one more. From the middle to the bottom of the structure. Okay, what do we have? This price down here is discount, and this price up here is premium. Up here, sorry. This is premium. Now, where are we right now? We are just above the discounted prices. We could see, if we have that retracement that I've been talking about, if we do a fib now from the bottom here to the top, we could see a retracement. 60% is usually where we see that retracement, and we have a lovely zone right in here. This is on the 4-hour chart too, so this is a nice zone. Right in the discounted prices. If we are bullish on coins as this retracement happens, and I've taken my shorts off the market, I might be looking for a new long, and AVAX looks pretty good. Potentially, we could do a long here. Nice bit of room there to breathe. Where can we take this to? Easily take it to there as take profit 1 with a 3. There we go. There's a nice long there for AVAX. I'm not going to put it on just yet. I'm going to wait. What am I waiting for? Don't know yet. Don't know what I'm waiting for yet. I think I'm waiting for Bitcoin to show me. Where are we? Let's have a, let's bring this closer together. Well, what was it? We were looking at AVAX, wasn't it? So All right, so we've got Bitcoin coming up, showing us bullish structure, and from there, we had AVAX coming in showing bullish structure. Yeah, I don't know about this AVAX one because as Bitcoin comes up and reaches new highs, AVAX may only reach. Oh no, it could be. Yeah, this could work. As Bitcoin retraces, and my ETH trade comes down and comes out, and I take that profit, I'll be looking to take a long on Bitcoin down here, and potentially I could be looking at that same time to take a long on AVAX just here. So that could work out. That works out nicely. I don't like to ever have longs on and shorts on at the same time. We should be congruent in our steps. We should be congruent in our thoughts on the market in general. So I don't mind for myself having a plan long for now and then short at a specific time. That's fine. That's fine as long as the coins are all congruent. I don't want to be in a short at the same time that I'm in a long. That's like hedging your bet. Just not necessary. So that's the plan there. I'm going to wait for price to retrace on AVAX and potentially take a long at the 60% mark. And look, that actually looks pretty reasonable that we're going to get that. So that's potentially a good idea there. And that leads me to Bitcoin, where if it was at the top of the range, yeah, I've been looking for shorts. We're not there yet. I think we're going to retrace. Where are we going to retrace to? Let me get rid of all of this. All that fib. Where will we retrace to? Knowing that we're bullish on Bitcoin, we're going from here to the top. And we're going to retrace this zone here, which is a zone I've already marked out. If it does do that, I'll be taking a long. Take profit 1 from this long will be the top of the structure. Oh, that's lovely. Look at that. I can give myself an even bigger. Okay. And that'd be take profit 2. So take profit 1 there and then take profit 2 all the way above. And look, guys, that's it for me today, I think. There's some great ideas happening. There is some great movement happening. Looks like Bitcoin's woken up for the year. I'm happy to see that. And I will probably talk to you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing day. I hope your trades are all successful. And good luck, guys. I'll see you later.